Whoa, what's going on, hustlers? Welcome back to another, a little quick little hit this Thursday. Fantasy week almost done. You know what I mean? But the edge is still out there. The weekend's still here. This the midweek hustle. Tonight we talking about who get new minutes, who heating up quietly, and who's a win you your week type of streamer. Now, hey, you already know, no hype, no fluff, just smart pickups. And remember, if you sleep, you beat. So before we get into it, just real quick, no full games this week because of the Champ Cup, the NBA Cup Championship was Tuesday night. So yeah, let's go and get into it. Here goes some streamers that y'all can look at. These are the guys who help you win. You know what I mean? The week because they playing good ball right now. They showing up, they getting the minutes. Let's go ahead and get in there. Kevin Herter from the Chicago Bulls. He 12% rostered. You know what I mean? Averaging 24 fantasy points on the season, 12, 3 ribs, 2 assists, almost a steal at point 0.9 and point 0.7 blocks a game. And he make almost 2 threes a game in 24 minutes a game. So that's good production right there. Good minutes. He's stuffing the sheet all over the place. So check Kevin Hurt out. Next up is Noah Clowney, 13% roster from the Brooklyn Nets. I ain't gonna lie, I saw him against Dallas a couple weeks ago. He had a pretty good game. He caught my eye for sure. He averaging 13 points, 4 ribs, 2 assists, 28 minutes a game. He averaging 30. He had 30 fantasy points in his last game. He got at least 30 or more fantasy points in 5 of his last 7 games. So you already know he producing. He cooking right now. Jay Huff from the Indiana Pacers. People not really sleep on him. I see he 26% roster. He's still 74% roster in most ESPN leagues, but he got defensive upside. He got a back-to-back set coming up. Grab him before the game. He averaging 8 points, 3.7 reads, 1.3 assists, 2.5 blocks in 19 minutes. 2.5 blocks is crazy, but he a paint protector. You know what I mean? He had 37 fantasy points in his last outing. And as you know, fantasy ain't just about players, it's about volume, games played, points earned. Now let's go and jump off into the injury boost streamers. These guys probably weren't on your radars, but because somebody in front of them got hurt or they out for a little minute, these some guys who can help you with your lineup, especially if you got the person that's in front of them. We looking for minute spike, usage bumps, opportunity that come through with the situation. First up is Dean Wade. He 3.5% roster from the Cleveland Cavaliers. Evan Mobley projected to return December 27th. So he out for at least a week. Wade is a beneficiary of that. He got 33 fantasy points in his last game with 14 points, 8 ribs, and 2 assists and a steal. Not a long-term option, but a great streamer, especially if you have Mobley. Next guy, Jordan Walsh, 20% roster. He's stepping up big time to replace Tatum. He had 22 fantasy points over the season, but he averaging 33 and a half fantasy points over his last 7 days. He getting major burn. He averaging 25 minutes a game over the last 7. He contributing in every category. I ain't gonna lie, this guy's worth the ad. And he might be a long-term look because Tatum might be out for a while. Opportunity is the #1 fantasy cheat code. Y'all already know. Now, next up, this for my category players. This for my guys who in category leagues, my people who in category leagues. We looking for streamers who feel a one specific need to help you win your category. First up, 3 specialists. I mentioned this guy earlier in the season on an episode, Klay Thompson. If you need 6 to 9 threes in a couple of days, we already know Klay Thompson could do that. He 25% rostered. He averaging almost 3.5 made threes in his last 7 days. So he really doing his thing. He heating up. The Mavs getting back healthy, and it's no wonder that everybody looks better. Stock specialist, steals and blocks, win matchups no one expects. I mentioned this guy earlier, Noah Clowney, 13% roster. He averaging a block and a steal in his last 7 days. Double duty, like I say, he was a waiver ad earlier. Now he a stock specialist. Assist specialist. You need somebody with solid 6 to 7 assists per night without many turnovers. You know what I mean? A glue pickup. Bub Carrington from the Washington Wizards, 11% roster. Now, he only averaging 4.4 assists on the season. You know what I'm saying? Sharing the rock. But over the last week, he averaging 6.5. Check him out if you need assists in your category league. He probably a good streamer for you. Rebound enforcer, somebody who crashed the glass, get them garbage points. You already know. This guy, Robert Williams, he 2.3% roster, averaging 6 ribs a game, playing 17 minutes on the season. However, he had a double-double in his last game in only 19 minutes. He had 11 points, 11 boards. So he doing what Robert Williams do. You know what I mean? We saw this in Boston. He doing crazy work on the glass. Sometimes one category swing is the difference between playoffs and packing it on in. Hey, next up is my stream to stay guy. These are audition pickups. You know what I mean? If they hit, you found something. They're not leaving your roster. And if they don't hit, you could put them back out there. You know what I mean? Make room for somebody else. But we're looking at role. We're looking at coach trust per minute efficiency. You know what I mean? We're looking for all that. Like I say, if he hit tonight, if he hit 28, 30 minutes, by the weekend, he might be your guy. He might not be a streamer no more. He'll win streak. My guy, Bryce McGowens from New Orleans Pelicans. He under 1% rostered. He only averaged 16 and a half fantasy points over the season. However, he exploded for a 52 fantasy point game on December 11th due to Herb Jones getting ejected. And in four of his last 5 games, he's averaging 28 minutes a game. So he already approached that 28-minute mark that I was just speaking about. And then also I've been seeing chatter and rumors involving Herb Jones being traded. If those come to fruition, watch out for this guy because he looked like he's going to benefit from them moving on from Herb Jones. And as we already know, temporary moves can become permanent weapons if you time it just right. The manager's playing today, Thursday, win Saturday and Sunday. Make sure y'all double checking back-to-back schedules. You know what I'm saying? Heavy games on the weekend, low ownership teams with favorable matchups. You're not just grabbing players for one night. You're building momentum. You're trying to get a dub. And that's all we all know that we are here to get dubs. That was your midweek hustle. You already know we got straight to the point. We got straight to the work. Don't wait for Sunday to panic. Take the edge today. Build advantages now so nobody can come up on you. Nobody can beat you later. Make sure y'all follow the Hustle Sports Net on X, on Facebook, Instagram at The Hustle Sports Net. And remember, if you sleep, you beat. Hey, I'm your host, T. Will. I'm out.